Check it out now. Special girl, real good girl. Special girl, real good girl. Real good girl, good girl, 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 girl.
Hey, this is the first episode of VibeRANT Speakers. I'm Ashley.
And I'm Kirsty.
And today it's gonna be our first time starting this podcast YouTube journey. So thank you guys for tuning in, and we hope that you subscribe to our channel. It's brand new, and we look forward to discussing with you guys in the comments your thoughts about this video.
And we decided to do this because me and Ashley have conversations like this all the time.
All the time.
So today we're going to start off talking about something we just been talking about all day. And that's self-care. So there's a lot of conversations about self-care and incorporating that into your life and what all that means, right?
Right. I've personally looked into a lot of YouTube videos about 10 ways to show self-care, or my productive morning routine, stuff like that.
Right.
And I feel like the number one things that you might see is, I'm gonna go take a bath instead of a shower, and I'm gonna drink a glass of wine on Tuesday when I get off work.
I'm gonna go to the spa and get my nails done and get a massage.
Yeah.
Or eat some cookies, bake a cake, read and
I'm gonna
reflect deeply
read
about
when I
blah,
wake
blah, blah.
up instead of getting on Instagram, like stuff like that. But is that really self-care?
So I was thinking, all of that stuff is necessary to an extent. Like, it's just about trying to find balance in your life in order to be happy. They're attempting to reduce stress doing these things, but I feel like it's just like a temporary fix.
Right.
Like you said, I took a bath today and that's it. Like this temporary fix, but it's not really getting into the deeper issue to manage the stress. If y'all hear my baby, it's just like we decided to record today, and I have my baby here. He gonna be talking the whole time. I'm sorry. It's just me and Ashley.
It's all right.
We was like, we need to record now, or we're not gonna do it.
No, but like you said, it's a temporary fix. It's just like when we get sick or get a cold or something, and we're taking aspirin or this over-the-counter medicine as just a temporary relief from what's truly going on.
Right.
So
I think that the difference is there's self-care and then there's self-love.
yeah.
So in order to reach those issues, you got to figure out, how much do I truly love myself? What does that mean to me? And self-care is a part of that healing, but you got to ask yourself, do I really love me?
I think that it just goes beyond just
Those
one
physical
activity.
things.
Yeah, one activity or those physical things that you can do
Right.
to really care for your body, really reduce stress, really alleviate what's truly going on with your soul, your spirit.
It's surface level.
Yeah. I feel like those
So-
things are surface level.
I found this survey. It's like you assess your self-care, right? And you rate on the scale of 0 to 3. They even got a question mark on here just in case you're not certain about this certain activity.
Great, because I'm indecisive.
So 0 means I never do this. 1 means I barely or rarely do this. 2, I do this okay or occasionally. And 3 is like you do this well, frequently. And they have different categories. It's physical self-care, psychological self-care, emotional, spiritual, relationships, workplace. So it's just about balance. Keeping balance in your life.
Because I feel like self-care involves think about it. We put ourselves in different environments even in one day. We're going to work.
Right.
We're going home. We're going around our loved ones. We're going around our significant other.
Good point. Because
Right?
women, I think we tend to juggle or try to juggle more than men.
Yes.
Not saying we're better or anything.
Yeah.
It's just that naturally we try to balance so many things
And
at
wear
once.
many hats.
Right. So yeah, that's gonna, self-care is gonna like speak to us more than maybe a male.
Right.
And
I
we
think
do need to get a hold of like try not to do so much because it would stress us out. So then that bring you the stress, right?
Yeah.
What is stress?
What is stress? So I feel like those different environments that I was saying can help induce more stress on us. And I agree that as women, that's why we're so intentional about self-care, about self-love, because we wear a lot of hats.
Right.
But I feel like us as women, we do a lot to say, okay, am I happy today? And we measure our happiness by how productive we are. Why do we do that?
Well, I don't know. Because you've been taught probably at a younger age or something that when you're doing these things, when you're keeping up with the house, when you're taking care of things, you are a great woman.
Right. And
so
it's like, okay, I got this done today. I cleaned this. I went here and got this done. I had a good day.
And I can't feel good about myself unless I do these things. And I think that's stress. Because stress is your idea of like your sense of control over things, but stress is needed to motivate you to get things done. But unhealthy stress is those extremes where you actually don't have that much control over something that you're trying to control, or you feel like you have no control over something that you actually have some control over. So finding that balance. And self-care is like giving yourself permission to not have to have it all together. Like giving yourself permission to go take a break and do something for yourself, and not be selfish. So to some extent it is needed, but that's not getting deep into like what the real issue is. So I think you have to explore, because people always tell you love yourself first, and you don't really hear that in relationships.
But as just outside of a relationship, you know, they say self-love is the best love. So as we're talking about self-care, I agree. I feel like we have to start with self-love. If we're going to care for ourselves, we've got to first analyze, okay,
do I really love myself?
Do I love myself?
And that's so spiritual too, because, alright, you saying, do I love myself? Aren't you yourself? So that already tell you, I'm going to get deep now. That's two people. It's you and it's myself. Or you, hold on, I and me. That's, you like, is that the same person? But why do you say things like, I don't like myself right now? Or like,
I'm so stupid, I messed up. Or stuff like that.
Because it's really, I and me. So you got to tap into the spiritual part of you. See, we keep feeding the flesh. Like, and you're not aware of your spiritual self. And that the part that you need to feed that part of you so that you can be happy. So like celebrating yourself.
Like, oh girl, I did a good job today. Not just on what you did today, but like what?
What I'm trying to say?
Like are you saying like celebrate yourself, like not self-doubt?
I think you have to first understand that you have a spiritual self. Because I think you like blindly saying, I don't like myself, and you don't realize what that's doing to you. Or how it's affecting how you feel about your life. And you need to be more aware of like who we are. We are spiritual beings. And once you understand that, you have this new awakened mind, like, okay, so if I am this spiritual person too, what does that mean? And if God is love, then the first part is self-love.
So I'm trying to see what you mean by like recognizing your spiritual self.
That you are love too. And understanding how to love
seeing
correctly.
The God in yourself. And using unconditional love like as God does. Okay.
And that will truly, how we feel about ourselves is going to reflect in how we feel about our life. How we feel about ourselves, how we treat people around us, and
how much empathy we practice with others,
how much compassion you have for somebody who may make a mistake or something. Because I don't know, just in my personal journey,
if you're critical of yourself, of course you're going to be critical to someone else.
Right.
Right.
And I do feel like I'm critical of myself in the way you're talking about being productive. So if I'm not doing 80,000 things and getting that done in one day, then I don't feel good about myself.
Yeah.
And then I'm hard on other people. I'm like, you lazy or you slack because you didn't do something that I hold myself to.
Yeah, and then it's a competition. Like, well, I done cleaned the living room. I done cleaned this whole house. What did you do?
Yeah.
And it's not fair because the measuring system you're using is one you're using on yourself.
And that's that negative critic.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. That's not coming from a place of love. That is the opposite of love. And I didn't realize that until Ben, my husband, pointed out. He was saying, like, why you, if I tell him or try to remind him to do something, he's like, I'm going to get it done. Or why you feel like you got to remind me and it'll make me feel bad for not doing that. And I had to think for a minute. Like, okay, that's how I talk to myself when I'm trying to motivate myself to get things done that is on my imaginary checklist and things that I have to do.
But we all have different motivators.
Right. But that's not healthy for me to be that hard on myself. So if I am criticizing myself in that way, which is not coming from a place of love, then what I say to him is not going to be loving either. Yeah. So I got to learn to be more compassionate towards myself in order to show that love to him and whoever.
Yeah, because I feel like you would be extending grace of that person. Yeah. Like, it's okay they didn't do what you did today. Or they didn't do it the way you wanted them to do it. Right. You know, so that's a whole nother thing, too. So,
no conditions. That's the unconditional love that I'm showing you. They didn't do it the way I think you should do it. Because then I'm putting conditions on you. If you don't clean like me, if you're not as productive as me, then you're not worthy of love. And that's what that's saying. Yeah. So you should let people just be themselves. But if you're not doing that, and you are more critical and or whatever, then you gotta realize that it's something with you. Like, you're not happy, or you're not happy with yourself.
So it's like, am I being too critical of myself? Am I projecting how I feel about myself to someone else?
I think that's always the case. Yeah. Because when something bothers me about somebody, like I say, oh, such and such getting on my nerves because they name something. They didn't do their hair. Oh, your hair's so ugly. Why they walk out the house like that? Why does it matter? Right. But if I'm like critical of myself, if I don't come out the house looking my best to the T,
hair done, makeup done, so yeah.
But maybe that comes from how I learned how to love, because you learn how to love how people love you. Like, so maybe somebody was extra critical of me, like how I look in my appearance. So now I'm like, well, then I'm not worthy of love unless I.
So recognizing and being conscious of self-criticism, self-doubt, and things from your background or your childhood.
Yeah, that's the real work there. That's self-love. Self-care, I feel like self-care only fit in one category, and that's like reducing stress to find balance in your life. But you can do those things and still have that negative critic in your mind. So I could go take a bubble bath for an hour or whatever people be doing
at 3 o'clock, and then by 4 o'clock
burn all these sages and
light a candle,
drink some wine, and then the next day I'm still like, why you ain't still being mean to myself.
Shoot, I didn't finish this thing I was supposed to be doing.
So no real work is getting done. Like, I'm just going back into my old habits.
Yeah, no self-work is getting done, right? Yeah, not really getting to the root of the problem. Not saying there's always a problem. Right? But I feel that...
Is it always a problem? I think it's something you got to constantly be at work with. Because when we born, we don't... You're just not automatically thinking about that stuff. You more focus on the world revolving around you. Trust me, I know, because that's all the baby do. The world revolves around me. I need to eat. You need to feed me now. I want to get up, pick me up. And that's it. Just real selfish. But as you get older, you got to stop feeding that selfish spirit. Like, and feeding your more spiritual self. And that will take learning how to truly love, sacrificing yourself, serving others, loving, putting your love into them. But first, you have to love yourself. You got to learn how to love you so that you can love other people.
So what does that self-love look like then? Is it spending time with yourself? Is it based on you as a person? Because I do feel like self-love is different for everyone. Because, yeah, reading a book may be relaxing for someone, but it's not for me. It's not really reducing stress. That's stressing me out. I don't want to read anything.
So, it ain't doing nothing for you.
Right.
So do you have a self-love language?
Oh, that's interesting. What is your self-love language?
What is your self-love language, Ashley? Well, mine would be reading, because I like reading self-improvement stuff. I like listening to podcasts that have to do with self-improvement, and it make me more conscious of what I'm thinking, what I'm doing, why I'm doing it, and just trying to change my behaviors. That just get me excited.
Yeah. I really enjoy being by myself. You know, I love being around people. You know, I just hosted a party today at my house, but to be by myself, it re-energizes me, and maybe that's the introvert inside of me. I don't know, but I feel like that's definitely something that I need so that I can recharge and be able to produce those same energies into other people.
Actually, I don't see how you can do an inward journey without being by yourself. So people first got to be comfortable being by yourself.
Yeah.
And if you feel like you can never, like you feel so alone when you by yourself, or you always need to be around people doing something, then maybe that's something you got to figure out. Like, why do you do that?
Yeah, why do you not want to be alone or by yourself?
Yeah.
Or alone is a bad thing or a bad word.
Why is that bad?
Yeah.
Because how can you
really get to know yourself,
reflect and know
reflect.
you if you constantly around people?
Right. And then to hear your inner thoughts.
I just can't see one without the other. You can't do self-care without self-love.
Yeah. Because
you brought up people getting off of social media or something. So you eliminating things from your life that are toxic could actually be beneficial to that growth. So social media is a distraction, I think. If you're constantly on there reading what everybody else got going on and worrying about what other people doing, then you aren't focusing energy on how to improve yourself.
Right. And I feel like it's a lot of on social media can sometimes be negative or can be about a false lifestyle of other people and celebrities, and you're comparing yourself to others, and that energy is feeding into you and your spirit. Right. So I do feel like sometimes we need a break from social media. It's a distraction. A break from people, period. Like, so you can keeping your energy to yourself
and being in tune with you. So, and sometimes people got to look at their habits. Because if you think doing this thing is going to take away... Good point. Habits.
Habits. Recognizing our habits.
Or vices.
Vices, yeah.
If you feel like, oh, I need to go smoke something so that I can...
Feel better.
Or like not think about whatever this is.
Whatever's going on.
Then you're not really dealing with the problem either.
Right. You're doing a temporary fix.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know what else to say about that. Yes.
Yeah. I mean, so how are ways that we can practically practice self-care?
With self-love.
In relation to self-love, which is the ultimate benefactor, right?
Because you got to know the underlying meaning for why you do what you do. Are you going to keep repeating those same bad habits or behaviors and not be conscious of it. And you know how people be like, stay woke. That's how I think about it. If you're not conscious of why you do what you do and you just out here, you sleepwalking. That's how I think of it. So when you become more aware of your behavior and why you think about things a certain way, or the message behind what you're doing, that's like you become awakened to that other world. That's how I see it.
So what are some ways that you do this?
So a way that I do it every day, I always listen to like a podcast or a book, something that is positive or have me thinking about my behavior. So just to put it in my head.
So do you do that in the morning?
Yeah, in the morning while I'm cooking breakfast or driving somewhere.
That's good. Starting your day being intentional. And some people meditate first thing in the morning.
Right.
I love to pray first thing in the morning.
Pray first thing in the morning.
Yeah.
Lord help me.
Right. Thank you, Lord. So yeah, and those things I feel like are that I feel like is more intentional than
the other stuff.
Yeah.
It just make you think, because otherwise throughout the day I'm thinking about the first thing I heard in the morning, whether it's something I read or listened to. Listening to stuff stick better for me.
And also taking time, no matter what time it is in the day, to really think about how you're letting people control your emotions or attempt to control your feelings.
Right.
Like if someone has made you mad or upset, then just thinking about, well, how did I allow this person to piss me off? Like,
right.
It's not that serious.
Sometimes I'll stop and say, okay, why am I mad at them? But then I try to think about why they did whatever they did to piss me off.
Or how they felt they could do that to you.
Right. I'll be like, oh, maybe such and such. Like, when they was growing up, nobody paid them no attention. So maybe that's why. So I can have a little bit more compassion.
Or maybe it's something that we did, too.
Just looking at...
Because I feel like we have to self-assess and not always think that the other person did something.
True.
Because also sometimes we allow them to do it or to say it.
Right.
So.
Good point. So just being more conscious of your thought process. Really looking at a situation full circle.
Reflecting on your day at the end of the day.
That's good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or how could I have done that better? Because the next time, the more you practice this habit, the more automatic it'll become later. I feel like if you correct those behaviors and really dissect it the way you need to, then.
And starting good habits.
Yeah.
Instead of waking up in the morning checking social media, doing something else. Not even if it's something productive, because like I said, I don't feel that we have to keep measuring our happiness with productivity.
Yeah.
But doing something intentional for self-care.
I always know why
like
you're doing it. Don't just do stuff as an automatic reaction or just something you think you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
Know why you're doing what you're doing. What is it helping? If you're going to have a morning routine, why are you incorporating certain things in? Are you doing yoga because it looks nice?
Right.
Or are you doing it because it's true meditation and a time for you to be present and de-stress?
Yeah, and I feel like it's great to establish good, healthy habits as a part of self-care and self-love. Yeah, being self-disciplined, being self-aware, and self-reflection. So though all those self things I feel like are helpful for self-care.
Selfish.
Right.
Yeah, so love yourself first.
Right.
That is.
Love
if
yourself
you don't
first.
take nothing else from this conversation, love yourself first. That's the big point.
So thank you guys so much for tuning in to our first video, and we pray you come back for more.
Yep.
So this is VibeRANT Speakers signing off.
Yep.
Bye.